Hello everybody, this is Cacti and Carnivores here, and today I'm going to be finally sowing the seeds that I made when I crossed my maroon monster plant and my typical Venus flytraps. Now, last video I said I was going to show the process of cleaning them through, getting the seeds out of the seed pods and potting up the medium, but I figured that wasn't necessary. At least for the potting. I think a lot of people know how to put soil into a pot, so I don't really think that's necessary to go over. And the people in this hobby already kind of have their own rhythm, so it'd just be kind of redundant. And I just, for the seeds, I decided not to film because it's just too delicate of a process. I did take a couple pictures that I'll show right here. And it's just, as you can see from the picture, it's very just kind of picking with little tiny things and tools, and I don't think the camera would pick it up at all. Yeah, so that's basically why I couldn't film, or decided not to film as much as I could. But anyways, the final count up for all these seeds, there's 11 of the ones that I'm pretty sure are crossed, and then 2 of the ones I'm pretty sure are selfed. Now, cross means I took the pollen from the maroon monster, or the pollen from the... Actually, it was all the pollen from the maroon monster. None of the flowers from the maroon monster took. They all died. So it's going to be the maroon monster as the father and the typicals as the mother. And then this one's just going to be just the typical, basically just the same pollen put into the same flower. So almost a clone, but not quite. And I'm going to separate them physically. I wouldn't make another pot. That'd be kind of redundant and unnecessary. Yeah, so what I'm going to try to be doing, basically, I'll just start by taking a couple seeds. There's 2 right now. I'll zoom in. 2. Alright. So it's going to be hard to see, but on the top half, I'm going to put the crossed seeds, and then on the bottom, I'm going to put the selfed ones. Now, this is a very, very hard process. Not exactly hard, just a little awkward. Basically, what I'm doing here is I'm just sticking my finger onto one of the seeds, and because there's just a little bit of moisture on my hand right now, the seeds stick quite easily. Let's get that one. They stick onto my finger quite easily, and they touch, make contact with the ground of the... I'm talking really slow. I'm sorry. The ground of the soil on the pot. That's a little close. I'll move that right there. And then they grow. So okay, now we're almost done. Right about now. Nothing? Good. Alright, so that's the top half. Now the second part is really quite easy because there's 2 seeds, and they'll have plenty of room to grow as they wish, or if they don't. Okay, so that's pretty much it. You can zoom out now. Alright, get rid of these. And then, there we go. I'm going to take and put this pot with the seeds on in a tray of water. Now I'll fill the water up. Distilled water is always, unless you have tap water, under 40 parts per million. And then something I read up upon, was kind of intrigued me, was putting a small amount of peat moss over the seeds. And I'm not sure if this will be effective or not, but I've heard that it can help get them a bit more moist, which is always good, because the seeds need a very warm, not hot, moist, not soaking environment, and plenty of sun to grow. There we go. I'm going to mist, but I'm going to be really careful about it. I don't want to blow them off the media. There we go. Should be good. I'll give it one more for good luck. There are 13 seeds total here, so hopefully I can offset the bad luck, if there is any. But I don't think that counts. So anyways, now pretty much final step is to just wrap them up in a nice bit of plastic wrap here. I'm going to leave a little bit open. Now the hardest part for me about seedlings and humidity is trying to retain a good level of humidity, usually around 80%, 70%, and then but also keeping some airflow. Now if I had a greenhouse, which I probably will never have because they're expensive and I don't think they'd work in this climate, but if I did, I could just put them in here in a greenhouse, and I could put circulation. It would be humid, it would have heat and humidity, but it would also have air circulation, which would help mold not grow, and fungi and algae and all that. But when it's a small closed environment that's very stale, the air tends to sit and it allows for a lot of nasty things to grow. Now, for some reason, I've somehow figured out a weird way to avert this by spraying some neem oil on it. And that's what I figured out with my last, the other Venus flytrap seedlings I have going. And all the mold and mainly the algae just turned a weird gray mush and never really grew again. But I'll only use that as a last resort. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I'll put this guy up on the windowsill. I have his tag, pretty much information I've already said. Planted on the 28th of July and will sprout hopefully soon. 1 or 2 weeks is usually pretty fast for them. Yeah, so it might be a while, but I can safely say they're all potted and they're good. So, goodbye.